Hi, welcome back to week two. This week we're going to cover chapter three and chapter four, and this mini lecture is covering chapter three of your textbook, which is about audience analysis. All right, let's start. So, we're going to talk about the importance of checking out your speech location while you're prepping for your speech. So, in this chapter, actually, we're not only talking about the importance of understanding who your audience is, understanding where you're going to give your speech, as well as the technology that you're going to use. But also, at the heart of this chapter is actually understanding the importance of um, knowing who your audience is while you're planning on writing your speech, because a speech will not be a great speech unless you actually write it for a specific audience. And unless you know who your audience is, you wouldn't know how to best approach or how to best craft your speech so that it will become a great speech. So by understanding these different components, location, technology, audience, you will know better how to prepare to deliver your speech. All right. So, when we're talking about speech location, I know this is an online speech and it is, you're going to deliver your speech at home, record it, and then you're going to upload your speech so that I can watch it. However, in real situation, you may not be as comfortable as delivering your speech at home. You may still sit in your home office, but you're going to deliver your speech via Zoom, where people can watch you at the same time, synchronously. So these are aspects that you need to think about as you deliver your speech. So the physical location, where are you delivering your speech? What's the certain specific technology that you need to be able to deliver your speech? In your case, you will definitely need cam recorder or a video recorder so that you can actually record yourself giving a speech. Now, even when you're delivering your speech from home, I do think that it is very important for us to try to mimic the situation of a real classroom. So that's why if you take a look at your first speech guideline, which is the introductory speech guideline, you will see that I ask you to dress as if you're in a classroom, including wearing shoes or sandals, because it's important that you try to present yourself as professionally as you can. And now that we have talked about physical location and technological needs, I also want to talk about audience size. I know that for your first speech, I don't require you to have any audience members. But for your other speeches that you're going to deliver in this course, you will need to have audience members, at least 3 people in your audience. And if you are having issues in actually gathering that number of people, you can always sign up to deliver your speech via Zoom so that you can deliver it in front of me and other students who sign up to deliver the speech via Zoom. Now, when we're talking about audience size, having maybe only 5 or 6 people in a room that's not big, then you can feel a lot more relaxed and see it as more of a conversation rather than standing up in front of a large room with a big audience. So you will see that the way you behave, the kind of language that you use as you deliver a speech in different locations, using different technological needs, as well as understanding the size of the audience, will determine how you're going to carry yourself and how you're going to present your topic. So yes, talking about these 3 factors are very important when you're thinking about your speech. And then let's talk about who is your audience. This is very important because you want to make sure that how you design your speech is going to fit with the audience that you're going to deliver your speech to. So, for instance, it's very important to understand the demography of your audience. So, demography is the study of the statistical characteristics, for example, age, sex, and gender, socioeconomic status or class, as well as racial and ethnic identification. Now, by understanding who your audience is, it's going to be a lot easier for you to craft your speech so that it will fit to your audience members. So, for instance, let's talk about for your informative speech. You may want to think about who your audience is, and how the topic that you choose will fit, to your audience. So in my case, for instance, if I would like to give an informative speech about golf to my friends, that might not be a good idea, because I know that even though, for instance, I'm passionate about golf, I know that none of my friends here in Colorado care that much about golf. So maybe golf is not the best sports to introduce to them. However, I will be able to connect with them more to give an informative speech about the hiking trails that are accessible, and you get the best, views and sceneries from going on that trail. And since many of my friends here in Colorado loves to hike, and they live around Denver greater area, so maybe choosing to talk about, hiking trails with the best views around Denver greater area would be a much better topic for my friends. And so that is an example of, understanding who your audience is can really help you shape the kind of topic that you're going to choose and how you're going to approach talking about that topic. It is also useful for speakers because it provides a general understanding of basic facts about an audience. Yeah, so it's easier, the more you know about your audience, it's easier for you to design your speech for them. And this understanding helps you establish common points of reference and develop a rapport with your audience. And you want this. You want to have that strong connections, established connection with your audience. Why? Because the more the audience like you as a speaker, the more they're likely to listen to your speech until the end. And so it's very important to make sure that as a speaker, you centered your audience and design your speech for them. And it is also important for you to build that connection because you want them to like you, so that it's going to be easier for you to inform or share your information. And it's going to be easier for you to also persuade your audience when it comes to persuasive speech and ask them to take actions based on the information that you provide. So one of the things that we as speakers find as a challenge is we tend to have some sort of stereotypes about our audience. We like to assume that we know certain information about them, and so we stereotype them. Don't think that stereotype is always a bad thing, because honestly, it's not. It's just how our brain process information. When our brain accept information, they like to categorize and organize the information. And that's how, our brain process this information. And so it is up to us to actually challenge that stereotypes and actually make efforts to ask questions to our audience and understand them, and just not relies on our own assumptions or stereotypes. Okay, so just to be sure, I just want to make sure that we are on the same page. When we're talking about stereotype, we're talking about an overgeneralization about a person or group based on assumed characteristics. So I am going to share with you a story about how I stereotype my friend's partner. So at first, I was really hesitant to actually hang out with my friend and her partner because he is a vegan. And I love to connect based on, by going out and eating out or invite people to have dinner or lunch at my place. And I thought that, oh my God, cooking for vegan people is going to be such a pain in my behind. So maybe I should just invite my friend and ask her to just hang out, girls only, something like that. But the truth is, by stereotyping about her partner, I was actually missing out on so much because after I knew him more, I know how fun he is. And it turns out that cooking vegan food is not only fun, yes, it can be challenging, but it's also fun and delicious and also healthy. So I honestly thought that I really need to face my stereotype and stop, not inviting him just because I didn't want to learn how to cook vegan food. So after a while, I now have, quite a number of vegan recipes that I have tried and we all enjoyed. And the plus point is now I get to hang out with my friend and with her partner as well. And we're all able to share food and have a really good time. So that is one of the stereotypes that I realize is not a good idea for me to hold on to. So when we are gathering information about our audience, there are two ways to do this. We can have an informal audience analysis. Yeah, we can just basically ask questions and get as much information from our audience. And we can also have a formal audience analysis where this is very systematic. For instance, you have a set of questions that you want to ask, and so you hold interviews, small group discussions, or even focus group discussions. For this class, we don't really need that formal audience analysis, but I do want you to encourage to conduct this informal audience analysis through our discussion boards, the questions that you're going to ask to your classmates, and hopefully by gathering as much information about them, you can think about topics that you can discuss that will be able to connect you with them, with your audience better. So just like what I said, I have two lecture questions for this chapter. These two questions need to be answered and you need to submit them on Wednesday. The first one is I want you to create 5 questions that will let you know your classmates better. One or two of those questions should relate to a topic that you intend to present in one of your speeches this semester. Don't worry, you may change your topic later on. This is just an exercise to get to know your classmates better and apply the skills you learned from this chapter about audience analysis. And number 2, get you start thinking about your speeches. And when you have posted your questions, make sure you respond to your classmates' post by answering their questions. Yeah. Remember, you must respond to at least 2 of your classmates' posts to receive full points for your discussion activity this week. And I do want you to post your questions, not answer. Post your questions by noon on Wednesday and respond to your classmates' answers by 11:59 p.m. on that same day. So by posting your questions as early as possible, you're giving a chance for your classmates to actually respond to your questions. And that goes the same to you. If they're posting their questions early, you'll be able to answer the questions early as well. And then the next lecture check question is, as I said in my presentation, our brain is hardwired to stereotype. I know we are not supposed to do it, but in real life, this is what we do. So in this lecture check questions, I want you to share in the discussion board your experience with stereotyping someone else and how you overcome that experience, just like my experience with my friend's partner who's vegan. So as usual, post your answer by noon on Wednesday and respond to your classmate's answer by 11:59 p.m. on that same day. All right, that's it, the mini lecture for chapter 3. And please make sure that you also click on the mini lecture for chapter 4 and answer the 2 lecture check questions. Thank you all so much.